Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burst Podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Show, and today's guest is Mission Road.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank
how
you.
are you?
Great. Thank you both so much for being a guest today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves, the band?
Good.
Okay. We're based in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
And Christina and I started playing music together a little over 3 years ago. We met in a church. I was playing keyboard for the church band.
That was about 7 years ago.
I still can't believe it was that long ago, but if you say so.
Well, I met you in 2017,
Okay.
and then I started Life Over in 2019. So that's how I can remember that.
Well, that's cool. No, that's great. And
Nice.
a friend of mine told, who was also a member of the church, said, Christina is a singer. You might want to work with her. And she's looking for musicians. And I filed it away and nothing ever happened.
And the same mutual friend told me, oh, you see, Elliot plays keyboard and he might want to work with you. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever.
And a couple years later, she moved to West Virginia. I'd been living there for quite a while.
Nice.
And we met in a neighborhood restaurant.
A little hole-in-the-wall bar.
Restaurant, bar, yep. And so, went up to her and I said, aren't you the lady from church who sings? And she said, yeah, aren't you the keyboard player that was we were supposed to get together and play some music? And she tells the story that I chased her out into the parking lot.
He did. So
I don't know about that.
we chit-chatted for a couple of minutes, and then I continued to eat my burger or whatever it was that I ordered. At that time, it was probably one of those like salads that anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm going out to my car, leaving, and I'm like, I'm not going to say goodbye or anything because whatever, he was talking to people. And here he comes. Christina, wait, you're chasing after me in the parking lot. And he said, can I get your number? And I'm thinking, this creep. Like, why are you running after me, asking me for my phone number?
What?
Like, as a woman,
We knew each other from
I know,
goodness sake.
but it was just weird. As a woman, if a man's running after you for your number, it's kind of like, is that a red flag or is he just like really nice?
Well,
So,
and of course I
gave him my number.
and I wrote it down wrong.
So
So it was
few months go by.
and we run into each other again at the same place, and finally. So actually, we're sitting in the rehearsal studio over at my house, and she came over. I started playing piano. She started singing, and magic started happening. And here we are, over 3 years later. We've put out an album now, and
we have 4 singles out.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, the 4th one will be coming out probably in a month or so. But yeah, and we're just loving it, and I'm actually, we're surprised at how things have gone. They've gone very well.
Our music is mostly country, but I've been told for a country singer, I have a lot of soul. So, but I would say we're mostly country.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love country. So, what inspired this new album? I'm going to bring it up. What inspired this new album?
Well, I started after we were going over covers and learning songs that I knew and she knew. I started introducing to her songs that I'd written, and we started working those up, and that went well enough. And actually, the songs were going over pretty well at the clubs we were playing. So I said, why don't we make an album? Why don't we go in and do some recording?
Well, it's funny because
I wanted to do an EP,
yes,
but
he wanted to do an EP, but I was like, well, if we're going to go into the studio, we might as well go big or go home.
Right.
And I really fell in love with Elliot's songs. I connected to them on a very personal level. every single song on the album is a story, a real life story that happened to Elliot, but it actually happened to me too. And so when you can absorb a song and digest it and sing it, it's almost like reenacting something that you've gone through. And so that's why I wanted the whole album, because I'm like, all of these songs are similar, you know, whether it's like falling in love or heartbreak or somebody being shady towards you, and you just have to stay positive and keep moving forward. All of the songs made sense to put on one album. So
yeah.
Nice.
So there's 13 tracks on the album, and 10 of them were written by me. One was written by my dad, and 2 of the tracks are covers.
Nice. So, with your permission, before I play on my podcast, can I get your permission?
Absolutely. Of course.
Okay.
We'd love to. It'd be an honor.
And which song did you want to play first? You wanted to play Used to Drink Whiskey first?
Sure.
yeah, Used to Drink Whiskey was just aired on FM radio today, and I was at work when I got the phone call, tune in, and of course I was pretty much screaming at my desk because
Actually, this song is kind of the reason why we're with you today. Is we put this song on Facebook. Actually, Christina did. She's really good at the social media things, and I'm not. So she put it on Facebook. We got over 10,000 views on it, and one of them was a gentleman named Eric Diamond. I don't know if you know him.
Yep, I know him.
Yeah, and he heard the song and he liked it.
he's like, I want to record that song.
Yeah, and then he introduced us to a great guy named Caden Gordon.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
how we got you.
yeah, that's how we got to meet you. So this song is kind of what got that whole ball rolling.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't wait to hear it. Okay.
Great.
Uh-oh. It's going to play an ad first.
Of course it is.
That's funny.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line. You'll be pleased to know I'm doing fine. There ain't nothing happening, there ain't nothing new. I'm sure that it's all the same to you. And I used to drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rots the liver, the other rots the brain. You know that it's all the same to me. I loved him through and through, but he left me standing in the rain. Then I had another, he loved me through and through, but one day I couldn't go home again. And I used to drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rots the liver, the other rots the brain. You know that it's all the same to me.
stop by to see me when you're passing through. Old times are fun to reminisce.
We'll break out a bottle in 1982. Talk of how we tried and somehow missed. And I used to drink whiskey, but now I watch TV. I need a change of scenery. One rots a liver, the other rots a brain. You know that it's all the same. You know that it's all the same. You know that it's all the same to me.
Amazing. I love both of your voices.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell my listeners a little bit about this
So
track?
you think
what
you know Wix?
inspired this
Do
track?
you really?
Let me pause it. Okay.
Well, I wrote that song after a really painful breakup. So I was in a real cynical mood. And I said, well, I can either rock my liver or rot my brain. And I just needed to get away from it all. And so it was either watch TV or drink some whiskey. And of course, I eventually snapped out of it. But that was the song about, the immediate aftermath of breaking up with somebody.
How to medicate yourself to help you
really
get by.
painfully. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, like some girls will sit there and eat a whole tub of ice cream. I'm that girl that I'll have whiskey too.
I might have wine instead of whiskey. Whiskey will knock me out.
But it's there's a little bit of wry humor in there. So because thank you.
I still want to know which girl left you standing in the rain.
Oh.
The funny part about this story, and Elliot will immediately disagree with me when I say this, is that he was noodling in the kitchen with this song, and I come up to him and I'm like, what are you playing? And he's like, oh, nothing, just some silly song. And I'm like, no, let me hear it. He's like, you're not going to want to do it. And he starts playing it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's so catchy. And so I'm like, I really like it. He's like, you do? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And so he was kind of hesitant, but it turned out to be a great song.
Yeah, it works as a duo too. So really, I was surprised at how well it did turn out. I didn't know whether or not you'd like it. I get shy sometimes about my stuff, so.
There's a couple of songs on this album that he was a little bit shy, but I'm like, let me just, like, we're partners. Let me just hear it.
Yeah.
One of the things that was cool about that song is it took us about a year to record the album.
Mm-hmm.
We would go in like every Monday, and we'd spend 3 or 4 hours in the studio. And the pedal steel player that we brought in, because we were working with a guy, and he was struggling with the parts on a couple of the songs. So we brought in a guy.
Another guy.
Who worked, his name is Chris Thompson. We give him credit on the album. And he did just such a great job. It's funny how just things kept happening like that, where the pieces would just fall into place.
And Chris was like, I'm a little scared to go into the studio because I've never gone into the studio to play the lap steel and pedal steel guitar, because he's still kind of new at playing that instrument. But so we were just blown away. I'm like, listen, dude, you had nothing to be afraid of, because the parts that you put down were amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yes, it is a catchy song, like you said.
Thank you.
So what was the other song that you all would like to play on here? There was another one.
You pick it. You want to, which one?
Do you want to stick to the singles, or do you want to go?
Why don't we try I Love Your Way?
That's another duet.
Yeah, what you'll be doing here is playing a song that is going to be our next single release.
Oh,
So you'll be the first. You'll be the first to play.
Yeah.
Yay! Which one is it?
I
I
love your way.
I love your way.
Okay, it might play an ad again. Yep.
Of course it will.
Oh
The
God.
3 seconds of getting on your nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure I got it all the way to the beginning. Okay.
All right.
I love your way. There's more to you. More than a mirror will show all that you can do. I love your way. It's in your hands. It's the work of an angel that nobody understands. I love your way. It's all so new. It reminds me of someone I don't want to remember who. I love your way. There are no lies. You're as true as the blue of the cool November skies. So stay for me your rainy days.
I'll give to you my holidays.
I hope you'll always be around. I'll give to you my life and times.
With Valentine's and lyric rhymes.
And I hope I never let you down. I love your way. Your eyes will show all of the things that you never want me to know. I love your way. I am with you, more free than the spirit of love has the right to do.
So say for me your rainy days.
I'll give to you my holidays. I hope you'll always be around.
I'll give to you my life and times.
Valentine's and lyric rhymes. And I hope I never let you down.
Love this song too. What inspired this track?
Pets. They like to go get it. Pet parents?
It's a love song.
Okay.
It was written about somebody in my past.
He's had a lot of loves in his life.
Yeah, well, I've been around a while, so it's,
Hey, I'm not judging.
that song, I'm playing the guitar on that one, but also the piano in the part. So it's just her and me, a bass and a drum. She's playing a percussion instrument, and and it's the two of us singing. So it's pretty basic.
Was that Latin claves I'm playing in this song?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice.
So, thank you. Yeah, I was playing a nylon string classical kind of guitar, which the kind of guitar Willie Nelson plays.
Folky.
Really?
A folky guitar.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And I wanted to ask you all at the beginning, but I'm asking y'all now, what inspired your name, Mission Road?
So we were tossing names back and forth, and Elliot wanted to name our band something really corny and boring, like like Simon and Alexander, and I'm like, bleh. Like, come on now. And so, we just were throwing names back and forth.
Or Alexander and Simon.
Well, that's still
I
boring.
don't need top billing.
Like, that's not even original. Like, so anyway, the name Mission Road came up because I was living on a street called Mission Road.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of like tossed the name around, and we're like, you know what? We are on a mission. We want our music to be spread around the world.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded good, and it just stuck.
Mission Road is on one end of the mountain, and I live on the other end of the mountain. We both live on a mountain ridge right outside of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. It's part of the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So actually, our area where we live, if you listen to the song Country Roads
By John Denver.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
describes where we live. Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River,
Yeah.
and we're right down by the river. And she was living on Mission Road, and
Yeah, now he lives at the bottom of the mountain, and I live on the cliff.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
she's moved from there, and she's way up. She's got a breathtaking. She's on top of the world, looking down.
Man, wow.
But
I
that's
always wanted to visit there.
Oh, you
come-
should.
If you do come down, look us up.
Yeah.
I will. Do you all play a lot of shows down there?
Oh, yeah, every weekend. Sometimes we have 2 shows a week, sometimes 3. And the summer, we get really busy. And we've had even last summer, there were some weeks we had 4 or 5 shows a week. So
Yeah. So we play here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia.
a lot in Loudoun County, Virginia.
Yeah, Northern Virginia. We'll be playing at a winery in Aldie, Virginia this weekend. And
We played in Washington, D.C.
mhm.
We played in Maryland. Anybody that'll hire us.
We played in South Carolina. We found a little circuit down there that we like to play. We're working on going down to Florida to play some of the clubs down there, and so actually,
and we'll be headed back to Nashville during the CMA Fest, so that's going to be exciting.
yeah, that'll be in June.
We were just in Nashville in March, and we sang for a fundraiser for autism.
Yeah.
A few of our originals, and the place was packed with singer and songwriters, and we got to join in on that fun. Caden and Mary Elizabeth put together that awesome event.
There's nothing more nerve-wracking than playing for a whole group, a whole audience filled with your peers, people who are singers and songwriters themselves.
And some of these folks were signed to major labels, and we're playing in front of them, and I'm like, am I good enough to be here?
Definitely. Y'all are great. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So what do y'all like most about playing your music?
Being able to try to, relate to people, playing in front of audiences and then talking with them afterwards and, hanging out with people. Really is, there's no greater energy than performing in front of a group of people, especially if you're doing, your original material and all that.
The only time I feel alive is when I'm on stage. And I have lived such a uphill and downhill like one battle after another in my life. And so I want people to understand that no matter what they're going through, they're not alone. And if I can touch somebody and make them feel something, that's my goal.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's really amazing. So, I did have a question, but I forgot what it was because of what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So, can you both describe like your creative process when you write new music?
Well, it starts with an idea because when I write, and we're just starting to write together now, but when I write, I generally start with the words first because I think, this may sound like too cerebral or something, but I look at a song really as being a literary form. The thing that makes, I think, one song may be more effective than another song is the words. I mean, there's a lot. It's important to write a nice melody, and the chord progressions are also part of it. If you got a nice chord progression going and arrangements and all that. But to me, it's what the song is trying to say. So.
And see, my songwriting is completely different.
Yeah.
My songwriting is situational. So if I'm going through something, I can just sit down and write a whole story about exactly what I'm going through. And it's almost like the lyrics are whispered in my ear and I'm just writing them down. It's so bizarre how it works for me.
Yeah, I'm different that way. So there's no right approach. I'll agonize over every word until I get it exactly right.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the words. I'm worried about the feeling. So we're so opposite, yet we are so similar. It's fun.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever get stage fright or get nervous on stage?
I used to. I don't think you've ever had stage fright, but I used to get it really, really, really bad. And to the point where my heart would beat so fast and so hard, it would knock the air out of my lungs. And my palms would sweat. And just from, doing so many performances or as Elliot likes to call it, woodshedding, playing in so many audiences, I just started to get used to it. And after I got used to it and got over the fear, I realized, wow, I really enjoy this. Now back in September, we put on a Patsy Cline tribute, and I love her. I think she's one of the greatest vocalists of all time. I was nervous to put on a performance singing Patsy Cline songs. And then when we went to Nashville, when you have a room full of people that have been doing this a lot longer than you and is absolutely going to know if you mess up or not, I was very nervous. But other than that, no, I'm pretty good.
And we played last year. We played a local club around here called the Rainbow Road Club,
where Patsy Cline was discovered.
Yeah, that was one of her very earliest performances because she's from Winchester, Virginia, which is about maybe 18, 20 miles from here. And if you head south on 340 from here, you will go right past the Rainbow Road Club. And it used to be called the Orchard House when she played it, but it's still the same ownership. And although the man who started it, he's gone now, and his wife Liz was running it, but it just closed because they're widening the highway, and they're gonna tear it down, and that just like that enrages me.
All those memories and famous people that have played there, it's such a shame.
Yeah, little piece of history that they're just gonna bulldoze.
Yeah,
that's sad. That's sad, and there's no way to stop it.
Well,
no.
I think she tried, and I don't think she got anywhere. Apparently, because they closed it up. The end of last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think March 31st was it. And they've even auctioned off some of the effects from the place. And really sad to see that go.
Yeah.
Right.
So my last and final question before I let you all go, what advice would you all give musicians who are starting out?
Go ahead.
I love this question. You know what I would tell them? Don't do it. Unless you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of thing, don't do it just because you think it's cool. Don't do it because you want to become famous. Do it because you have to, because it's a calling that comes from your heart. And otherwise, don't bother. But if you really need to do it, go out and do it, and don't let anybody tell you not to, and don't let anything get in your way, and don't ever stop, actually. Yeah.
My advice is, like I had mentioned earlier, I have had like so many ups and downs in my life. And what I'm going to tell everybody is, if you want to be in music, you need to fail 10 million times before you get it right. Because you're going to have people tell you that you suck and that you're never going to make it and that you can't sing or you can't play your instrument, whatever it is. But when you, like Elliot said, if you feel like you have to, because that's why you're here on earth, then you do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life, I was put down and criticized and just made to feel like I could never do anything. But there was something inside of myself that was like, you have to, girl, you have to. It's like breathing. It's a necessity. And if you feel that, doesn't matter what people tell you, do it anyway. Prove them wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how often you have to practice. If you're dedicated and you love it, it's fun.
That's great. Really great advice. I love it, because as a podcaster, I hear that too. I've had people say, oh, well, you've had a bunch of nobodies on your podcast. Nobody's going to listen. But I've had over 30K views. Like, people view my podcast. So I'm like, yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because one day somebody's going to come on your show, and then your show is just going to take off. And then you're going to be on TV. And then you're going to be like, people are going to be begging you, to interview them. So just keep going.
And you never know when that moment is going to arrive.
Right.
You just got to keep on doing it. Yeah.
That's true. I want to thank you both so much for being a guest today on my podcast.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are so sweet.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening to She Blurs podcast. If you would like to listen to their music, you can look up Mission Road on YouTube and on all streaming platforms, and check it out if you really love country like I do. I love country. So check it out. Listen to their music, share, subscribe, everything. Love you all. See you all next time for the next interview. Bye.